They're hidden in banknotes, carved into temples, and flashing across pop culture like secret signals. The Eye of Providence, the Black Cube, the Pyramid, the Ouroboros. For centuries, people have seen these shapes and whispered one word: conspiracy. But behind every mark lies a history, a faith, and sometimes a controversial reinterpretation. This is every conspiracy symbol explained in 12 minutes. First up, the Eye of Providence, the all-seeing eye. You've seen it on the back of the US dollar bill, perched above a pyramid. It appears in old churches, tucked into stained glass or painted high above altars. And in movies and music videos, the single glowing eye flashes as if it's watching. This is the Eye of Providence, the image that seems to follow you no matter where you look. Its story begins not in secret lodges, but in Renaissance Europe. Artists use the eye surrounded by rays of light to symbolize God's omniscience, his ability to see all things. It was meant as a reassurance of divine protection, not as a mark of control. Over time, Christian art spread the symbol through cathedrals and manuscripts, embedding it deeply into Western iconography. Later, conspiracy theories reinterpreted its meaning. Modern theories claim the eye represents the Illuminati, a hidden society guiding global politics and finance. Others connect it to surveillance culture, treating the symbol as evidence that governments and corporations track every move we make. A once spiritual emblem of comfort became recast as a warning of manipulation. And if one eye raised suspicion, imagine what happens when you place it on top of a pyramid. The pyramid with capstone. Look closely at the Great Seal of the United States and you'll notice a pyramid, unfinished with its top separated and floating above. Above it floats the Eye of Providence. This design shows up not only on the dollar bill, but also in Masonic art and architecture. It's where the stacked stone shape stands as a marker of strength and endurance. The pyramid's roots are ancient. In Egypt, the triangular structure embodied stability and cosmic order. Their massive bases represented unshakable foundations, while their pointed tops reached toward the heavens. Builders across cultures echoed the form for centuries. From ziggurats in Mesopotamia to sacred step temples in Central America, it was a shape designed to last, to remind people of permanence. Conspiracy theories, however, reinterpret the unfinished capstone. The unfinished capstone is said to symbolize the hidden elite, detached from the rest of society. Some claim it represents a hierarchy of power where every layer of society is beneath the ruling few. In this reading, the pyramid becomes less about stability and more about domination, a silent chart of hidden authority. But public monuments aren't the only designs that attract speculation. In modern cities, another shape has become the subject of endless debate. The Black Cube. Across New York, Copenhagen, and other major cities, enormous black cube sculptures sit in public squares, looking stark against the landscape. On the surface, it's just a geometric shape. But for those tuned into conspiracy chatter, the cube carries layers of hidden meaning. Historically, the cube has long been linked to Saturn, the ancient god of time, cycles, and inevitability. Ancient cultures often tied Saturn to limitations, order, and the slow grind of existence. In this context, the cube represented stability, boundaries, and permanence. Its perfect geometry was revered as a mirror of cosmic order. Conspiracies reframed the cube as something far less reassuring. The Black Cube is said to represent a prison, a matrix cage holding humanity within cycles of control. Online forums spin tales of corporations and world powers aligning with Saturn's symbolism to lock society into endless repetition. In the Islamic world, the cube shape is also deeply sacred, as seen in the Kaaba. To most people, the cube is simply a geometric form, but conspiracy circles online have reinterpreted it in striking ways. What began as sacred geometry has become one of the most controversial emblems in modern imagination. But not all symbols are rigid or geometric. Some move and twist, devouring themselves endlessly, and that takes us to one of the oldest emblems of eternity, a serpent swallowing its own tail. The Ouroboros. You've probably seen it tattooed on skin, drawn in alchemic texts, or decorating esoteric art. A serpent or dragon curled into a circle, swallowing its own tail. At first glance, it looks unusual, maybe even unsettling. But for thousands of years, the Ouroboros has been a reminder of something universal. Its origins stretch back to ancient Egypt, where it symbolized the endless cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Greek philosophers later adopted it, weaving it into discussions of the cosmos and balance. Alchemists in the Middle Ages used it as shorthand for transformation, showing that destruction and creation are two halves of the same process. The Ouroboros was a lesson in renewal. Conspiracy interpretations rewrote it differently. Instead of natural cycles, they saw an unbreakable loop of control. To them, the snake represents elites who recycle power, ensuring that even as governments fall or economies collapse, the same hidden hands reappear at the top. The idea of eternity shifts from hope to hopelessness, a system where no one escapes. But cycles aren't the only shapes that get twisted. When a star was redrawn with 5 sharp points, it changed from a map of harmony to a mark of fear. The pentagram, a 5-pointed star inside a circle, drawn on flags, sketched into notebooks, and flashing across pop culture. In rituals, it's traced on the ground as a magic circle. In music videos and films, it is presented as a symbol with hidden meaning. Few shapes carry as much mystery as the pentagram. Historically, it told a different story. The symbol goes back to ancient Mesopotamia and later to the Greeks, who linked it with health and balance. Astronomers noticed that the orbit of Venus traces a near-perfect pentagram across the sky every 8 years, and the star became a sign of beauty, harmony, and cosmic rhythm. For early Christians, it even represented the 5 wounds of Christ, a protective symbol rather than a threatening one. Later, conspiracy theories reinterpreted the star. Inverting the star gave rise to associations with occult groups and rebellious movements. To theorists, the pentagram became evidence of secret networks shaping culture. What was once a symbol of harmony turned into shorthand for domination and fear campaigns. But stars aren't the only shapes that draw suspicion. Towering above city skylines and carved from stone, another form has been accused of carrying secret meaning. The number 33. It shows up again and again in conspiracy circles, whispered about in secret society rituals, stamped onto internet forums, and tied to historical coincidences. The number 33 is often called the most mysterious number in numerology, but why? In symbolism, 33 has long been linked to sacred math. In many traditions, it represents spiritual completion, the highest stage of wisdom. Christianity notes that Jesus was believed to be 33 years old at the time of his crucifixion, giving the number deep religious significance. In numerology, 33 is what's called a master number, associated with enlightenment, creativity, and guidance. Later, conspiracy theories seized on its appearance in Freemasonry. The Scottish Rite has 33 degrees of initiation, with the final level seen as the pinnacle of hidden knowledge. Theories claim that politicians, business leaders, and even world events tied to the number signals hidden influence. Whenever 33 pops up in history, it's recast as deliberate, as if elites are leaving behind a coded signature. What was once spiritual mathematics became a calling card for shadowy control. Decades later, hidden patterns built directly into European architecture would carry the same aura of secret influence. The Black Sun, Schwarzsonne. In the 1930s, Heinrich Himmler renovated Wewelsburg Castle in Germany and had a 12-spoked sunwheel design set into the floor of the SS headquarters. To the Nazis, it was meant as a link to ancient Germanic traditions, part of an attempt to construct a mythic identity. The roots of the design are older than the Third Reich. Similar circular sunwheel motifs had appeared in ancient European cultures, often tied to seasonal cycles and solar worship. Archaeologists found patterns like it carved into stone, representing renewal and cosmic rhythm. But when adapted by the Nazis, it carried a reputation permanently linked to their ideology. Conspiracy theories later reframed the image as evidence of Nazi occult practices. Some claim it was a key to hidden rituals, or a sign of an underground network that survived long after the war. In modern times, extremist groups adopted it as their emblem, stripping it further from its cultural origins and making it controversial once again. And after symbols carved into stone, our next symbol is found right underfoot. The checkerboard pattern of black and white squares has drawn more speculation than almost any other design. The checkerboard pattern. A flooring of alternating black and white squares laid out like a chessboard. You'll see it inside Masonic lodges, woven into pop concert stages, or built into public architecture. To many, it's just decoration. To conspiracy theorists, it's loaded with hidden meaning. Historically, the checkerboard has symbolic roots in Freemasonry. The alternating tiles represented duality, light and dark, good and bad, life and death. It was a teaching tool about balance, reminding initiates that opposites define the human experience. The floor wasn't designed to intimidate but to teach philosophy. Later, conspiracy theories reinterpreted the pattern as a sign of control. They argue that its appearance in entertainment or architecture signals secret influence, or even links to hidden programs. In these views, artists performing on checkerboard stages aren't just using a design choice, but are sending a coded message. A simple tiled floor becomes, in the eyes of conspiracy circles, evidence of manipulation. Taken together, all of these symbols show how history, religion, and philosophy can be reinterpreted and recast as markers of hidden power. Whether carved in stone, drawn on paper, or built into city squares, they reveal less about secret networks and more about humanity's drive to find patterns everywhere. So the next time you see an eye on a bill, a cube in a plaza, or a tiled floor in a music video, pause for a moment. Are you looking at a piece of history or at a story reshaped by conspiracy? Because behind every symbol is more than art. If you want more deep dives into hidden history, band knowledge, and the meaning we've been taught to overlook, leave us a like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. Your support means a lot. And while you're at it, tell me in the comments which of these symbols changed the way you see the world.